Virgo, stop, do not scroll past this. Because what I'm about to tell you about the 9th of August, 2026, is going to crack something open in your chest that you have kept sealed shut for months, maybe longer. There is someone, and you already know who just flickered through your mind, who is about to shatter the silence in a way you did not see coming. And Virgo, I need you to hear me clearly. You are going to want to cry, but not from the pain you're used to, from relief from the sheer, overwhelming shock of finally being chosen the way you always deserved. Before I pull the next card, tell me in the comments where you're watching from right now. And hit subscribe on Trusted Tarot so the universe knows you said yes to receiving this. Because this message, it found you on purpose. You felt it before you even clicked. I need you to understand that. This was not the algorithm tossing you into another video while you half scrolled through your evening. This was not coincidence dressed up as content. Somewhere in the quiet architecture of your spirit, something pulled. A whisper beneath the noise. A gravity you couldn't name, and your thumb stopped, right here, right on this exact frame. And if you're sitting there thinking, well, maybe it's just a random video, I need you to notice what just happened in your body when I said the 9th of August. Because something shifted, something tightened. Something in your chest said, yes, this is the one I've been waiting for. And I want you to know, Virgo, that I see you. I see the version of you that has been holding everything together with white knuckles and a smile that doesn't quite reach your eyes anymore. I see the one who analyzes every silence, replays every conversation at 2 in the morning, and wonders if the person you keep thinking about ever thinks about you the same way. I see the one who told themselves they were fine, who said, I don't need closure, who said I've moved on, and then cried in the shower where no one could hear. That version of you is not weak. That version of you has been surviving a grief no one else validated. And today, the cards are saying it's almost over. The waiting is almost over. But before I tell you exactly what is coming, before I reveal the specific message, the specific timing, the specific words that are already forming in someone's mouth as I speak, I need you to understand the context. Because if I just hand you the ending without the journey, you won't believe it. You'll armor up. You'll say, I've heard this before. I've hoped before, and I'm not doing that again, so stay with me. Let me walk you through what the energy is showing layer by layer, so that by the time the full picture lands, you don't just hear it, you feel it in your bones. You recognize it as truth now. Let's talk about what's been happening in your body these past few weeks. Because the spirit doesn't just speak in words, Virgo. It speaks in sensation. And I'm going to tell you something, and I need you to be honest with yourself about whether this is true. You have been waking up earlier than you need to. Not every single night, but enough. 3:15, sometimes 4. And you wake up with this strange, hollow feeling. Like you were in the middle of a conversation in your sleep, and someone pulled you out before the sentence was finished. You lie there, heart beating a little too fast. And you don't even know what you're anxious about, you just feel unsettled, charged, like the air before a storm that hasn't broken yet. And during the day, there's this thing happening with your phone. You pick it up. You check it, you put it down, you pick it up again 20 minutes later, and you tell yourself you're just checking the time, or you're looking at a notification. But that's not really what you're doing, is it? You're looking for a specific name, and when it's not there, something in your stomach drops just slightly, just enough to remind you that the wound is still tender, still open, still hoping against the logic you've built around it. There's also this tightness, right here, center of your chest. Not pain, exactly. More like pressure. Like something is trying to expand, but you've been holding it down for so long that your body forgot what it feels like to let go. And Virgo, the cards are telling me this pressure is not anxiety. It's anticipation. It's your energetic body sensing what is approaching before your conscious mind has permission to believe it. Your spirit already knows. Your body is preparing. That's why you've been so emotionally tender lately. Why small things make your eyes sting. Why song comes on and suddenly you're somewhere else, someone else with someone else. You are not falling apart, you are thawing, and thawing hurts before it heals, and the dreams. Oh, Virgo, the dreams. I don't know if it's been water. Maybe an ocean, maybe rain, maybe just the sound of it against a window while you're standing in a room you almost recognize. Or maybe it's a face, not always clear, sometimes just a voice, sometimes just the feeling of a hand near yours, not quite touching. And you wake up and for 3 seconds before the day rushes in, you feel them. You feel their presence so strongly it's almost like they were sitting on the edge of your bed. And then logic kicks in and you say, it was just a dream. But it wasn't. It was a frequency. It was their energy reaching for yours across whatever distance still exists between you, and it's been happening more often now, closer together, because the gap is narrowing. I also need to name the numbers. You've been seeing them, repeating sequences. Maybe it's 1111, maybe it's 222, maybe it's a date that keeps appearing on receipts and license plates and the corner of your screen. And you keep thinking, okay, that's weird, and then you forget. But you don't forget, you file it away, and the cards are saying those numbers are markers, milestones, the universe counting down, not to something bad, to something that has been locked in divine timing for longer than you realize. The 9th of August is one of those markers, and it is closer than you think. Now, before I go deeper, before I tell you what this person has been doing in the silence, what they've realized, what they're preparing to say, I need to pause here, because this reading is not just content, this is a space. And if you are feeling seen right now, if something in your chest just exhaled for the first time in weeks, I want you to do something small but sacred. Subscribe to Trusted Tarot. Not because I need the number, but because you are making a declaration to yourself that says, I am allowed to receive. I am allowed to hope. I am not done being surprised by my own life. And if you know someone, friend, sister, a Virgo who has been quietly suffering and pretending they haven't, send this to them. Sometimes the universe delivers its messages through the people who love us. Be that delivery, be that bridge. Now take breath. Settle back inches because what I'm about to tell you about this person, the one whose name you've been trying not to say out loud, even in your own thoughts, this is the part that changes everything. And you need to hear it with your heart open, not your defenses up. So breathe and let me show you what they've been carrying in the dark while you thought they'd simply forgotten you. Let's pull back the veil on their silence. You have spent so many nights staring at the ceiling, wondering how they could just walk away, how they could go days, weeks without a single word. You told yourself it was because they didn't care. You told yourself that if they wanted to, they would. And while that mantra is a beautiful, necessary shield for your heart, Virgo, it is not the full truth of their reality. The truth is much more complicated and, frankly, much more painful for them. They haven't been indifferent. They have been paralyzed. There is a massive difference between not caring and being entirely overwhelmed by the weight of what they feel. And right now, the energy around this person is incredibly dense, heavy with unspoken words and a regret that sits in the pit of their stomach every single morning when they wake up and remember that you are no longer in their daily life. They have been watching you, maybe not directly, maybe not leaving likes or views where you can easily see them, but they are keeping tabs. They feel your energy shifts. When you pulled back, when you finally decided to focus on your own healing and stop chasing, it sent a shockwave through their energetic field. They expected you to wait. They expected you to remain the constant, reliable, beautiful anchor that you always are. But Virgos, when you are done, you are done. You do not leave the door open for people who do not know how to wipe their feet. And they felt that shift. They felt the cord loosen, and that terrifies them. Because in their mind, they thought they had more time. They thought they could figure themselves out, deal with their own chaos, and return to you when the waters were calm. But they are realizing now, with a sudden sharp clarity, that the waters might never be calm again if they don't step into them. I want you to picture them in the quiet moments, the moments when the distractions fade. It's usually late at night, or early in the morning, when the world is asleep and their ego drops its guard. In those moments, they are flooded with memories, not just the big grand moments, but the microscopic ones. The way you laughed at a terrible joke, the way you looked at them when they were stressed and didn't say a word, just offered a quiet, grounding presence. They miss your mind. They miss the way you organized the chaos of their life without them even asking. But more than that, they miss the way they felt when they were in your light. They felt safe, they felt seen. And out there, in the world they retreated into, they feel entirely exposed and utterly unseen. There is a specific memory that has been looping in their subconscious lately. A moment where they took you for granted, or a moment where they said something dismissive, and they saw the light dim just a fraction in your eyes. They didn't say anything then, they brushed it off. But that memory is haunting them now. It plays on a reel behind their eyelids when they try to sleep. It is their psyche's way of forcing them into an emotional reckoning. They are being forced to look at their own immaturity, their own fear of intimacy, their own self-sabotage, and Virgo, it is breaking them down. The walls they built to keep you out are now the exact same walls keeping them trapped in their own regret. They are experiencing their own somatic signs now. They are feeling the tightness in their chest. They are waking up at 3 in the morning with your name on their tongue, realizing that the physical distance between you is nothing compared to the spiritual ache of your absence. This brings us to the drafts. Oh, the drafts. If you could see their phone right now, your heart would skip a beat. There are paragraphs written to you that they have typed out, stared at, and deleted. They write, "I miss you," and delete it because it feels too small. They write, "I'm sorry for everything," and delete it because it feels too late. They are trying to find the exact combination of words that will bypass your formidable Virgo defenses. They know you. They know that you do not accept half-hearted apologies. They know that if they come back into your orbit, they cannot bring the same chaotic, inconsistent energy they left with. You will not accept breadcrumbs anymore. Your spirit has upgraded, and they know it. That is why the silence has stretched on, not because they don't want to speak, but because they are trying to build a bridge strong enough to carry the weight of your new standards. But the universe does not wait for them to feel perfectly ready. And this is where the energy of August 9th comes crashing into something has happened, or is about to happen in the next 24 to 48 hours. That is going to shatter their hesitation. It might be a conversation with a friend who finally calls them out on their avoidance. It might be a sudden shift in their career or finances that makes them realize what actually matters when the dust settles. Or it might simply be the astrological transits peaking, pulling the veil away and making the pain of your absence louder than their fear of your rejection. The dam is cracking, Virgo. The pressure is too much. They can no longer hold back the tide of what they need to say to you. And when this communication comes, it is not going to be a casual check-in, is not going to be a meme sent in the middle of the night, or a vague story reply hoping you'll bite. The cards are showing a profound, structured, deeply vulnerable confession. They are preparing to lay their cards on the table. They are preparing to admit that they were wrong, that they were scared, and that they have been entirely lost without your grounding force. But before this message reaches your screen, before you hear their voice or read their words, there is a crucial energetic shift that must happen within you, because how you receive this message will dictate everything that follows. You have spent so long bracing for impact. You have spent so long armoring your heart, convincing yourself that they are the villain and you are the survivor. And while you are indeed the survivor, holding onto the armor when the war is over will only suffocate you. The warning here, the spiritual guidance for this exact window of time, is about surrender. Not surrendering your boundaries, but surrendering your need to punish them for the past. When the message arrives, your instinct will be to defend yourself, to be cold, to make them work for it. And while they do need to work for it, your coldness might accidentally push away the very breakthrough you have been praying for. You must learn to receive clearly, not defensively. I know this is hard to hear. I know a part of you wants them to grovel. I know a part of you wants to see them suffer the way you suffered. But Virgo, your higher self does not want revenge. Your higher self wants peace. Your higher self wants the love that was promised to you, delivered in its highest, most mature form. And this person is finally stepping into that maturity. They are doing the shadow work. They are facing their demons, and they are doing it all with your face in their mind. The stage is set. The energy is ripened. The silence is ending. But to truly understand the magnitude of what is crossing the threshold toward you, we need to look at the exact nature of the surprise that awaits you. It is not just a return, it is an offering, and it is going to require you to step into a version of yourself you haven't fully met yet. Let's talk about the exact nature of the surprise, because when I say you might cry from happiness, I need you to understand the magnitude of what is actually crossing your path. This is not a casual, thinking of you text sent at 2 in the morning when they are lonely and the house is quiet. This is a structural shift in their reality. The cards are showing profound, deliberate decision, an invitation, but not just any invitation. They are going to ask to see you in person, and they are going to suggest a place that holds a very specific, deeply emotional memory for the two of you. A place where you once felt completely safe with them, a place where the air between you used to feel electric and easy. By choosing this location, they are signaling that they want to return to the foundation of what was real, before the ego, before the fear, before the heavy silence tore you apart. And when you hear their voice, or when you read the words they have finally found the courage to send, hidden truth is going to be exposed. This is the piece of the puzzle that has been missing from the board. You have been torturing yourself, wondering what you did wrong, wondering if someone else came into the picture, wondering if you were simply easily replaced or forgotten. The truth that is about to come to light is that they were entirely consumed by a personal crisis that they were too ashamed to share with you. Maybe it was a massive failure in their career, quiet financial collapse, or a deep, dark mental health struggle that made them feel entirely unworthy of your light. Virgos, you are the fixers, you are the healers, you are the ones who hold the world together. And this person knew that if they brought their chaos to you, you would try to carry it for them. They pulled away not because you weren't enough, but because they felt they were entirely too broken to stand beside you. They had to go into the dark and fix themselves before they could ask you to look at them again. When this realization hits you, that is when the tears will come. The happy tears. The tears of absolute, overwhelming vindication. You weren't crazy. Your intuition was right the entire time. You knew there was more to the story. You felt the invisible cord connecting you, even when the physical world told you it was severed. The tightness in your chest that we talked about earlier. That pressure that has been building for weeks, making it hard to take a full, deep breath. It is going to break. It is going to shatter like glass, and the relief that washes over your nervous system will be so intense that your knees might literally give out. You will cry because the heavy, exhausting burden of hoping in the dark is finally being lifted. You are being handed the validation you have been starving for, served on a silver platter of their own remorse. But listen to me very carefully, Virgo, because this is where the spiritual warning comes inches. This is the most critical part of the entire reading. When this message arrives, when this truth is exposed and this invitation is extended, your brilliant, analytical, beautiful Virgo mind is going to try to hijack the moment. You are going to want to pull out the magnifying glass. You are going to want to dissect their timeline. You will think, if they were going through all of this, why didn't they just tell me? Why did they let me suffer in silence for months? Why did they make me feel abandoned when I would have helped them? And those are valid questions. They are entirely, completely valid. But if you lead with your interrogation, if you lead with your defense mechanisms and your need to punish them for the pain they caused, you will accidentally push away the very miracle you have been praying for. Do not let the ghost of your past pain distort the reality of this new message. They are coming to you with their arms open, holding their heart in their hands, entirely vulnerable. If you meet them with a shield, they will retreat. And this divine window will close. Your spiritual instruction for this exact moment is to pause, breathe, receive the offering clearly, not defensively. You do not have to forgive everything in the first 5 minutes. You do not have to have all the answers right now. You just have to leave the door open enough to let them step inside and explain. Let them speak. Let them show you the work they have done in the shadows. Let the new version of them introduce themselves to the new version of you. And you might be asking, why now? Why is this happening right around the 9th of August, 2026? Why couldn't this have happened in the spring when you were crying yourself to sleep, begging the universe for a sign? Because the universe does not operate on the timeline of your ego. It operates on the timeline of your soul's evolution. The 9th of August falls immediately in the wake of the Lion's Gate portal. The peak of that cosmic energy happened just hours before this reading, bringing a massive surge of manifestation, truth-telling, and karmic clearing into the collective. But the 9th is the day of integration. It is the day the seed finally breaks through the soil. The astrological weather has finally cleared the debris from their path. The cosmic alignments have forced their hand, stripping away their illusions and leaving them with nothing but the raw, undeniable truth of how much they need you. This divine window is open because you have done the work. While they were in the dark, you were in the light. You were doing the shadow work they were running from. You raised your vibration. You stopped accepting breadcrumbs. You became so magnetically aligned with your own worth that the universe had no choice but to rearrange their reality to match yours. They are not returning to the old you. They are being drawn to the upgraded, fiercely boundaried, spiritually awakened you, and they know with absolute certainty that they have to rise to meet you. The surprise is not just that they are coming back. The surprise is how they are coming back. They are coming back with a level of devotion, a level of clarity, and a level of intentionality that you have never seen from them before. The games are over. The hot and cold dynamics are dead and buried. What is replacing it is a mature, grounded, deeply rooted commitment to making things right. And as we move toward the final integration of this energy, I need to prepare your physical body to actually hold this new reality. Because your nervous system has been wired for disappointment for so long that it might not know how to process joy. I need you to listen to me now, Virgo, because this is the part where I need you to finally put the heavy armor down. You have been carrying so much. For months, you have been the strong one, the reliable one, the one who figures it out, who analyzes the data, who predicts the outcomes, who holds the emotional weight of everyone around you while quietly starving for someone to hold yours. You make the lists, you plan the contingencies, you prepare for the worst case scenario because your brilliant mind thinks that if you can just anticipate the pain, it won't hurt as much when it arrives. I see how exhausted you are. Not just physically tired, but soul tired. The kind of exhaustion that sleep doesn't fix because your mind never actually powers off. You have been running on the fumes of your own resilience, convincing yourself that if you just hold it together a little longer, the universe will reward you. And I am here to tell you, right now, on this exact day, that the universe has seen your struggle. Your higher self has logged every single tear you swallowed, every time you chose grace over anger, every time you chose to heal instead of retaliate. But I also know the fear that is creeping in right now as you listen to this. The Virgo mind is whispering, what if this is just false hope? What if I let my guard down and they disappoint me again? What if I am being foolish for believing in a miracle? I need you to silence that voice. That voice is not your intuition. That is your trauma response trying to protect you from a pain it thinks is inevitable. But the pain is not inevitable anymore. The cycle is broken. You are not stepping back into the same river. The water has changed. The person coming toward you has been through the fire, and they are not bringing the ashes of their old ego to your doorstep. They are bringing completely rebuilt foundation. You do not have to be afraid of your own happiness. You do not have to brace for the drop. The drop is over. You have landed. The waiting room is empty, and the door to the next chapter is wide open. And here is the most beautiful secret about this energetic shift, Virgo. When the heart chakra finally unblocks, when this deep, agonizing relational wound finally begins to close, it sends a massive shockwave of abundance into every other area of your life. The stagnation you've been feeling in your career, the financial delays, the feeling like you are working so hard, but the rewards are just out of reach, that was all tied to this emotional dam. You were leaking so much vital life force energy into the void of the silence. You were trying to build an empire while your foundation was cracking. But as this person steps back into your life with clarity and intention, watch how quickly the rest of your world aligns. Opportunities will suddenly appear out of nowhere. Money will flow with less resistance, almost as if the universe is compensating you for the time you spent in lack. Your spiritual gifts will sharpen, and your intuitive hits will become razor sharp, because you are no longer divided, you are whole again. And a whole, aligned Virgo is an unstoppable force of nature. So, we are going to seal this right now. We are not just going to let this be a video you watched and forgot as you scroll to the next distraction. We are going to anchor this energy into your physical body so that when the 9th of August fully activates, you are a perfect vibrational match for the miracle. I want you to do this with me. Wherever you are, if you can, close your eyes. If you're driving or in public, just soften your gaze and bring your awareness inward. Take a deep, slow breath in through your nose, filling your lungs completely, expanding your ribcage, holding it at the top for just a second. And now exhale through your mouth with a long, audible sigh. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Let your jaw unclench. Let your tongue fall away from the roof of your mouth. Now, I want you to take your right hand and place it directly over the center of your chest, right over your heart space. Feel the warmth of your palm against your skinches. Feel the steady, rhythmic beating beneath your ribs. That heartbeat is the drum of your soul. It has kept you alive through every disappointment, every lonely night, every moment of crushing doubt. It is strong, it is resilient, and it is so incredibly ready for joy. As your hand rests there, I want you to repeat this affirmation in your mind, or whisper it out loud if you are in a safe, private space. Say, I release the need to suffer to prove my worth. I open my heart to the beautiful surprise that is meant for me. I am safe to receive love. I am safe to receive abundance. And I am safe to be profoundly happy. Feel those words sink past your skin, past your muscles, right into the marrow of your bones. You are giving your nervous system explicit permission to stand down. You are telling your body that the war is over. Sit with this feeling for just a moment. Feel the lightness. Feel the expansive space that has opened up inside your chest where the heavy, suffocating anxiety used to live. That space is now a powerful magnet. It is pulling the exact frequency of this beautiful, tear-inducing surprise directly to your coordinates. The universe has your exact address. The delivery is in transit, and you do not need to chase it, track it, manipulate it, or force it. You just need to remain open, soft, and receptive when it finally arrives at your door. As we close this sacred space today, I want you to lock this energy in with one final deliberate action. Down in the comments, I want you to type 3 specific words to claim this reality and seal this energetic contract. Type "I receive joy," do not type anything else. Just those 3 words. Let it be your digital signature on this spiritual document. When you type it, you are telling the algorithm, the universe, and your own subconscious mind that you are absolutely ready for the tears of happiness. If this message found you at the exact right moment, share it with someone who needs to feel this hope. And make sure you are subscribed to Trusted Tarot so you don't miss the reading that follows when this beautiful surprise actually manifests in your physical reality. You have survived the waiting, Virgo. Now prepare yourself for the joy. I am so incredibly proud of the work you have done. Blessed be, and I will see you in the next reading.